Have you ever had the feeling that a conversation is happening just beneath the surface of your awareness? Not a conversation of words, but of subtle shifts, quiet changes, and unspoken truths. Imagine for a moment that your body, your constant companion through every moment of your life, is trying to have such a conversation with you right now. It doesn't use language, but instead it speaks in the currency of sensation, energy, and form. What if the most profound messages it sends, warnings of serious, underlying trouble, are not delivered in a shout, but in a whisper? We live in a culture that often encourages us to push through, to ignore discomfort, to attribute unwelcome changes to the simple, inevitable march of time. "I'm just getting older," we tell ourselves, dismissing the new ache in our back, the breathlessness at the top of the stairs, or the fog that seems to cloud our thoughts. But what if that dismissal is a tragic mistake? What if these whispers are the advance notice of a storm gathering on the horizon, a storm that, if noticed early, could be navigated, mitigated, or even averted entirely? This exploration is not intended to be a source of fear. On the contrary, it is an offering of empowerment. It is a guide to becoming a more attuned listener to the one voice that is with you from birth to your final day, the voice of your own body. We will delve into 5 surprising signs that medical professionals consistently highlight as potential indicators of significant health challenges. These are not obscure, rare symptoms, but common experiences that are all too frequently overlooked. Understanding them is not about morbidly predicting an outcome. It is about courageously protecting your future, preserving your vitality, and honoring the intricate, intelligent system that is your physical self. By learning to interpret these signals, you are not waiting for a crisis to react. You are proactively engaging in the preservation of your most precious asset, your life. Let us begin this vital conversation together. The first whisper, the paradox of unexplained weight loss. In a world often fixated on shedding pounds, the sudden, effortless loss of weight can seem like a dream come true. You might notice it subtly at first. Your favorite belt needs to be cinched one notch tighter. A pair of trousers that were once snug now hang a little looser around the waist. You catch your reflection and see a leaner face looking back, a change you might initially welcome. Without altering your diet or dedicating more hours to the gym, the numbers on the scale begin to tick downward. It feels like a victory, a gift, but doctors urge us to look at this gift with a healthy dose of suspicion, for it may be a Trojan horse. Sudden, unexplained weight loss is one of the most significant and unambiguous signs that your body may be grappling with a serious internal struggle. While it's true that our metabolism can fluctuate with age, a significant and unintentional drop in weight, generally defined as losing 5% or more of your body weight over a period of 6 to 12 months, is a powerful red flag. This isn't about the 1 or 2 pounds you might lose during a stressful week. This is a consistent downward trend that occurs without any conscious effort on your part. To understand why this is so critical, we must look at the underlying physiology. Your body is a finely tuned engine, constantly burning fuel, calories, to power everything from your heartbeat to your thoughts. When a serious illness takes hold, such as certain cancers, advanced organ disease like heart or kidney failure, or even a severe persistent infection, the body can enter what is known as a hypermetabolic state. The illness places an enormous demand on your system, compelling it to burn through energy reserves at an accelerated rate, much like a car engine running far too hot. This internal battle consumes calories voraciously, leading to weight loss even if your eating habits haven't changed. Furthermore, many of these conditions can subtly suppress your appetite or interfere with your body's ability to absorb nutrients from the food you do eat, creating a dual-front assault on your physical resources. Consider the story of Harold, a 72-year-old retired carpenter who had always been a man of robust build. Over 3 months, he was quietly pleased to see he'd dropped nearly 15 pounds. Finally, he thought, the diet I'm not even on is working. His wife complimented him, and he enjoyed the feeling of being lighter on his feet. But the initial pleasure soon gave way to a creeping unease. The weight loss didn't stop, and with it, his energy began to seep away. His weekly golf game became a chore, and he found himself needing a nap after simply running errands. The strength he once had in his hands, a point of pride from his decades of carpentry, began to fade. It was only when a friend he hadn't seen in a while remarked on how frail he looked that the alarm bells truly rang. A visit to his doctor revealed an underlying illness that was silently consuming his body's resources. Harold's story is a profound reminder that not all weight loss is a sign of health. Sometimes it is the most visible symptom of its decline. The key is to contextualize the change. Are you losing weight while also feeling more tired than usual? Is your appetite waning? Have you noticed other subtle shifts in your well-being? It is the combination of unexplained weight loss with these other symptoms that paints a more complete and urgent picture. Resisting the temptation to simply celebrate the smaller number on the scale and instead asking, "Why is this happening?" is an act of profound self-care. It's about moving from passive observation to active inquiry. Documenting the changes, when the weight loss started, how much you've lost, and any other symptoms you're experiencing can provide your doctor with the crucial clues needed to investigate properly. It's not overreacting, it's being a responsible steward of your own health. That was the first crucial conversation your body might be trying to have with you. The message is not always what it seems on the surface. If you found this insight into unexplained weight loss valuable and it has given you a new perspective, please comment with the number 1 below to let us know. The second whisper, the crushing weight of profound fatigue. We all know what it feels like to be tired. It's the satisfying exhaustion after a long day of productive work, the pleasant weariness after playing with grandchildren in the park, the kind of tiredness that a good night's sleep can wash away, leaving you refreshed and ready for a new day. But there is another kind of fatigue, a different beast entirely. It is a deep, persistent, soul-crushing exhaustion that clings to you like a damp, heavy cloak, a weariness that sleep cannot conquer and rest cannot soothe. This is not mere tiredness. It is a profound and debilitating fatigue, and it is another of the body's most urgent whispers. Doctors emphasize that while a gradual decrease in energy can be a normal part of aging, a significant and persistent state of exhaustion that interferes with your daily life is not. If you find yourself waking up feeling as if you haven't slept at all, if simple tasks like making a meal, taking a shower, or holding a conversation feel like monumental efforts, your body is signaling that its resources are being severely strained. This isn't a matter of motivation or laziness, it's a physiological cry for help. This type of fatigue is often a primary symptom of a body working in overdrive to compensate for a failing system. When vital organs like the heart, lungs, or kidneys are not functioning efficiently, the body must expend an enormous amount of extra energy just to perform basic functions. If the heart isn't pumping blood effectively, the rest of the body is starved of oxygen and nutrients, leaving you a pervasive sense of weakness. If the lungs aren't processing oxygen properly, every cell in your body is operating at a deficit. If the kidneys aren't filtering waste products, toxins can build up, creating a feeling of sluggishness and malaise. In essence, your body's engine is running on fumes, and the exhaustion you feel is the direct result. Edward, a 76-year-old former history teacher, began to experience this insidious exhaustion. His cherished morning ritual of sitting by the window with his coffee and the newspaper, once a source of quiet joy, became a struggle. He would wake up, get his coffee, and immediately feel an overwhelming need to sit down, the newspaper lying unread in his lap. He started declining invitations from friends for their weekly card game, not because he didn't want to go, but because the very thought of the social energy required felt insurmountable. He blamed it on poor sleep, on the weather, on getting older, but the fatigue was relentless. It was his daughter, visiting from out of town, who noticed the stark change. "Dad, you seem so drained," she said, her voice laced with concern. This prompted a visit to his physician, where tests revealed a developing heart condition. Treatment didn't just improve his heart function, it gave him his life back. It lifted the heavy cloak of fatigue and allowed him to enjoy his coffee, his newspaper, and his friends once more. This kind of fatigue often travels with companions. You might find yourself becoming unusually short of breath, feeling dizzy, or losing interest in hobbies and activities that once brought you pleasure. You might fall asleep unintentionally during the day, only to find it doesn't leave you feeling any more rested.
It's crucial to differentiate this from the emotional fatigue of depression, although they can be linked and one can exacerbate the other. The key is the physical nature of the exhaustion, the feeling that your body, not just your mind, simply does not have the fuel to move forward. Ignoring it is like ignoring the oil light flashing on your car's dashboard. You might make it a little further down the road, but a serious breakdown becomes increasingly inevitable. Do you have any personal experience with this kind of profound fatigue, or have you seen it in a loved one? Your story could offer comfort and perspective to others who may be dismissing their own exhaustion as just a part of life. Please feel free to share your experience in the comments below. And if these insights are bringing you value, please support the channel by hitting the like button, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss our future deep dives into health and well-being. The third whisper, the alarming gasp for air in everyday moments. Breath is life. It is the most fundamental rhythm of our existence, an automatic process we rarely think about until it becomes difficult. We expect to be breathless after a strenuous workout or running to catch a bus. But when the struggle to catch your breath appears during the simplest of daily activities, it's a sign that demands your full and immediate attention. This is not the breathlessness of exertion. It is the breathlessness of dysfunction, a clear signal that the vital exchange of oxygen that sustains you is compromised. Imagine finding yourself pausing, gasping for air halfway through making your bed, or feeling a tightness in your chest after walking from the kitchen to the living room, or needing to sit down to recover after simply getting dressed in the morning. These are not normal signs of aging or being out of shape. They are indications that your heart or lungs, the twin pillars of your cardiorespiratory system, may be struggling to meet your body's most basic demands for oxygen. The mechanism is straightforward. Your lungs are responsible for bringing oxygen into the body, and your heart is the powerful pump that circulates that oxygen-rich blood to every cell. If either part of this system is failing, the result is an oxygen deficit. When the lungs are damaged by conditions like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, or pulmonary fibrosis, they can't effectively transfer oxygen to the blood. When the heart is weakened by heart failure or coronary artery disease, it can't pump the blood efficiently enough to deliver the oxygen where it's needed. When you perform even a minor activity, the demand for oxygen increases, and a compromised system simply can't keep up. The feeling of being winded is your brain's frantic alarm that it's not getting the fuel it needs. Frank, a vibrant 79-year-old who loved his daily walk around the neighborhood, first noticed it as a minor annoyance. He'd have to slow his pace on the small incline on his street, something that had never troubled him before. He dismissed it as a sign he needed to push himself more. But weeks later, he found himself stopping to lean against a lamppost halfway through his walk, his chest heaving. Soon, even carrying a bag of groceries from the car to the house left him breathless and slightly dizzy. The world that once felt open and accessible began to shrink, defined by how far he could walk before the suffocating feeling began. The final straw was when he woke up one night feeling like he was drowning, a terrifying experience that sent him to the hospital. Doctors discovered his heart was not pumping effectively, causing fluid to back up into his lungs, a condition known as congestive heart failure. It's vital to pay attention not just to the presence of breathlessness, but to its character. Does it happen when you're lying down, forcing you to prop yourself up with pillows to breathe comfortably? This is a classic sign of heart failure. Does it come on suddenly and sharply, perhaps accompanied by chest pain? This could signal a pulmonary embolism, a medical emergency. Is it accompanied by a chronic cough or wheezing? This might point more toward a primary lung issue. Pay attention to associated symptoms like swelling in your ankles or feet, which we will discuss later, dizziness, or a racing heartbeat. These are all pieces of the puzzle. Brushing it off with, "I'm just not as young as I used to be," is a dangerous rationalization. A healthy 80-year-old should be able to walk to their mailbox without feeling the desperate need for air. A noticeable and progressive decline in your respiratory capacity is a direct message from your body that its core machinery needs a professional inspection. This is the third vital message from our body, a message carried on the very air we breathe. If you found this explanation of shortness of breath and its potential implications helpful in understanding how to differentiate it from normal exertion, show your support by commenting with the number 3. It helps us understand which topics resonate most with you and are providing the most clarity. The fourth whisper, the unsettling fog of sudden confusion. Of all the changes our bodies can undergo, those that affect our minds are often the most frightening. Our memory, our clarity of thought, our very sense of self, these are the foundations of our identity. So, when sudden confusion descends like a thick fog, or when familiar memories become inexplicably elusive, it can be deeply disorienting and alarming, not just for the individual experiencing it, but for their loved ones as well. It is crucial to distinguish this from the normal, minor memory lapses that are a part of everyday life for people of all ages. Forgetting where you placed your keys or momentarily blanking on an acquaintance's name is one thing. What we are discussing here is a more significant and often abrupt shift in cognitive function. This could manifest as sudden disorientation in a familiar place, like your own neighborhood. It might appear as a sudden inability to follow the thread of a simple conversation, or difficulty with tasks that were once routine, like managing finances or following a recipe. It can also present as a dramatic change in personality, a typically calm person becoming suddenly agitated, paranoid, or withdrawn. Doctors warn that while gradual cognitive decline is associated with conditions like Alzheimer's disease, a sudden onset of confusion or memory loss is often a sign of an acute, systemic problem that is directly impacting the brain. Your brain is an incredibly sensitive organ, highly dependent on a constant supply of oxygen, nutrients, and a stable internal environment. When another part of the body is in crisis, the brain is often one of the first places to show it. A severe infection, for instance, can release inflammatory substances into the bloodstream that cross the blood-brain barrier and disrupt neural function, leading to delirium. A minor stroke can block blood flow to a specific part of the brain, causing sudden confusion. Poorly managed diabetes can lead to dangerously high or low blood sugar, both of which can severely impair cognitive function. Similarly, if the heart or lungs are failing, the resulting lack of oxygen to the brain can cause significant confusion. Let's revisit Walter, the 80-year-old who started struggling to recall the names of his lifelong friends. At first, he made jokes about having a senior moment, but then his wife, Eleanor, noticed more worrying signs. He would ask what day it was multiple times in an hour. One afternoon, he started getting ready for a dinner party that had happened the week before. Eleanor felt a knot of fear tighten in her stomach. Was this the beginning of dementia? With a heavy heart, she made a doctor's appointment. To their immense relief, it wasn't a neurodegenerative disease. Walter had a severe urinary tract infection that had become systemic. Because older adults often don't present with the classic symptoms like fever, the infection's primary manifestation was his profound confusion. With a course of antibiotics, the fog lifted and Walter returned to his sharp, witty self. His story is a powerful testament to why these cognitive changes should never be summarily written off as an irreversible part of aging. Family and friends are often the first to notice these changes, and their role is indispensable. It can be difficult for someone experiencing confusion to recognize it in themselves. If a loved one gently points out that you've been repeating yourself, seem unusually distracted, or are struggling with familiar concepts, the wisest and most loving response is to listen. See their concern not as a criticism, but as a lifeline. Keeping a log of these episodes, what happened, when it happened, and what else was going on at the time, can be incredibly helpful for a medical professional. Prompt investigation can uncover treatable causes, from infections and vitamin deficiencies to medication side effects or serious cardiovascular events. Ignoring these signals is to risk allowing a fixable problem to become a permanent one. The fourth sign we've discussed, concerning cognitive changes, is often the most subtle and difficult to self-diagnose. If this section has provided you with clarity or a new perspective on why such changes warrant immediate attention, please let us know by commenting with the number 4. And if these insights have been valuable, please consider supporting our channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into health and well-being. The fifth whisper, the unexplained swelling in the body's lowlands.
Our bodies are magnificent hydraulic systems, with an intricate network of vessels managing the flow of fluid to and from our tissues. When this system is working correctly, it goes unnoticed. But when it begins to fail, the evidence can pool in the lowest points of our bodies, a phenomenon that should never be ignored. We are talking about swelling, medically known as edema, in the legs, ankles, feet, or even the abdomen, that appears without an obvious cause like an injury or standing for an unusually long time. Many people dismiss this as a minor annoyance. My feet always swell in the summer, they might say, or these socks are just too tight. While occasional mild swelling can be benign, persistent or worsening edema is a classic sign that one of the body's major processing centers, the heart, the liver, or the kidneys, is in distress. It's as if the drainage system of a city has become clogged, causing water to back up and flood the low-lying streets. When the heart weakens and can't pump blood forward with sufficient force, blood can back up in the veins. The increased pressure in these vessels forces fluid out into the surrounding tissues, and gravity pulls this excess fluid down into the legs and feet. This is a hallmark of congestive heart failure. Similarly, if the kidneys are failing, they can no longer effectively filter waste and remove excess fluid and sodium from the body. This retained fluid has to go somewhere, and it often settles in the extremities. Advanced liver disease, or cirrhosis, can also cause widespread edema by disrupting the production of proteins that help keep fluid within the blood vessels. George, an 81-year-old retired mail carrier, first noticed it in his shoes. They felt uncomfortably tight by the end of the day. Then he had trouble slipping his wedding ring off his finger at night. He chalked it up to the hot weather and eating too much salty food. But the swelling didn't subside. It grew more pronounced. His ankles became puffy, and when he pressed a finger into the skin, it left a noticeable indentation that lingered for a few moments, a sign called pitting edema. The real alarm sounded when his abdomen began to feel bloated, and his pants became tighter around the waist. It felt like he was gaining weight, but only in specific areas. His visit to the doctor confirmed that his heart was struggling, and the edema was a direct consequence. The treatment that followed was aimed at supporting his heart, and as his heart function improved, the distressing swelling gradually receded, relieving not just the physical discomfort, but also the immense burden on his entire system. Like the other signs we've discussed, this swelling often comes with other clues. It may be accompanied by shortness of breath, especially when lying flat, as fluid can also accumulate in the lungs. You might notice rapid weight gain over a few days as your body retains more and more fluid. Your skin over the swollen areas might feel tight and shiny. If swelling appears suddenly, is in only one leg, or is accompanied by pain or chest discomfort, it could signal a blood clot, deep vein thrombosis, or another medical emergency that requires immediate help. Even if the onset is gradual, it is a clear and compelling reason to seek a medical evaluation. It is your body's way of showing you, in a tangible, visible form, that its internal balance has been dangerously disrupted. We've now covered the fifth and final surprising sign. Has this discussion on swelling or edema shed light on a symptom you or someone you know may have been overlooking? If this information has been helpful, please comment with the number 5 below. Your feedback is incredibly valuable and helps us create content that truly serves our community. As we conclude this in-depth conversation, let us take a moment to step back and see the larger picture. We've explored 5 distinct whispers from the body: unexplained weight loss, profound fatigue, shortness of breath, sudden confusion, and persistent swelling. Seen individually, they are concerning. Seen together, they paint a portrait of a body's profound intelligence and its innate desire to communicate. These are not disparate, random events. They are interconnected signals from a complex, integrated system that is calling out for attention and care. The core message is not one of alarm, but of awareness. It is a call to cultivate a deeper, more respectful partnership with your physical self. It is so easy to fall into the habit of explaining away these changes, of normalizing discomfort, of surrendering to the narrative that decline is simply inevitable. But your body is wiser than that. It sends these signals not to frighten you, but to guide you. Recognizing them early is the key that can unlock timely intervention, effective treatment, and the preservation of the quality of life you hold so dear. It can be the difference between managing a developing condition and being overwhelmed by a crisis.
Remember that you are not on this journey alone. Your observations, coupled with the expertise of your healthcare team and the support of your family and friends, create a powerful network of care. Being proactive, scheduling that appointment, mentioning that new symptom you've been hesitant to bring up is an act of courage and profound self-love. It is you taking an active role in authoring the next chapter of your life story. We hope this discussion has armed you with knowledge and, more importantly, with confidence. The confidence to listen when your body speaks, to trust your intuition when something feels off, and to take decisive action to protect your health. After all this analysis, what is the single most important lesson you are taking away for yourself today? Is there a particular sign that resonated with you, or has this changed how you will approach your health going forward? We would be honored to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Your reflections are a source of immense encouragement and help us create content that truly serves our community. Thank you for dedicating your time to this important topic. If you found this video helpful and insightful, please show your support with a like, by subscribing to the channel, and by sharing it with those you care about. Your engagement allows us to continue creating meaningful content designed to inform and inspire. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.